Welcome to the Solomon Show. Thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone is doing well. On today's panel, we have Gabriel. And we also have your host, Solomon. Now let's get right into it with our first story. Alright, what's our first story?
Am I right or am I wrong for not letting a kid eat my food?
Okay.
The other day I was at the mall with my boyfriend and our two kids, 5 and 6, female and boy. We were sitting eating a bag of roasted chestnuts when this kid, around 10 years old, starts hovering around us. Now, I admit, I'm not the biggest fan of any kid that doesn't belong to me. So this alone was already annoying me slightly, but I still smiled to him. Then he calls my son over and whispers in his ear, and I knew it was about the chestnuts. My son nods, yes, and the boy comes up to me and reaches for a chestnut. I moved the bag and said, no, you have to go ask your parents. My boyfriend got upset, called me rude, and handed a chestnut to the boy. The boy leaves, and I tell my boyfriend he shouldn't have done that. That you just don't give food to a strange kid. The boy then hovers back around us.
Okay, I need to call timeout. Okay, number one, your son already told the kid, right? So it's kind of mean if your son already told the kid it's okay for you to have one, and then you say no. The lesson here is, the lesson should be that sometimes you need to check in with mommy first. Ask mommy first. That's what you should tell your son. That's number one. Number two, what the hell kind of woman are you? Like, this is a child. You know what I mean? Like, what are you teaching your son? Teach your son to be nice to other people, help each other. Somebody's hungry, this and that. That's the way I was raised. Like, you help people, you be nice, you always like appreciate what you have, help others in need and all this, because you have to give back. That's the main thing my mom taught me. You give back to people, help people, and the universe or religion or God or whatever you want to call it, they will give back to you. But that's part of being a good person, is you need to give. So what kind of example are you setting to your son? To be greedy, to not want to share? Hello? Okay, sorry, that was a long time out, but I just had to put that out there. Okay, continue.
The boy then hovers back around us, and without saying a word, he snatches 2 chestnuts from the bag.
Okay, then I would scold the boy and say, now you're being bad. You ask before you take. That's not nice, because now it's stealing. That's not nice. No, you ask nicely.
The bag that my boyfriend was now holding. I stand up and said very firmly, sorry, but you can't take our stuff like that. Go to your parents. He put them back and ran off. I think the kid had no education, and I wasn't gonna let my kids think that it's okay to accept anything from strangers, or that it is okay to be pressured into sharing. My boyfriend doesn't agree and thinks the kids trusted us because he has kids themselves. And he thinks that was just selfish.
I agree with the husband. 100% agree with the husband, but in a way too, like, it's a community thing. You could teach the kid that. I would have just told the kid, no, that you don't just take, you just ask nicely. You say, can I please have a chestnut? And then you hand it to them, and before I release, what do you say? Thank you, and then you give it. You teaching the kids manners, you ask nicely, you do things nicely, you get stuff.
Well, I feel the other way.
What?
I feel that in today's day and age, it's not like it used to be before. Kids are allergic to things. Chestnuts, I'm assuming that's a nut, and it's a big allergen, so I think she's being responsible for not giving a random kid something that could potentially kill them. I think this is just responsible. She's just trying to look out for herself. She doesn't want to get sued.
I mean, I don't know. If that's really the case, the kid has a peanut allergy, he should be wearing a wristband or something that notifies people that, hey, I have a real serious allergy. I think that's a huge, huge deal that parents need to, if it's a real allergy like that, life-threatening, then yes, you need to give your kid a bracelet that alerts people. That's number one. Number two, I doubt they're going to sue because your kid's running around without you. It's like, where's the parents? So, I don't know. I really feel like everybody's become so closed off in their own little shell, their own little bubble, that it's about me, and we've lost this sense of, society, community, all that kind of stuff. I don't agree with being closed off. We could just agree to disagree, but I want the world to be like how it used to be, where you have like a Medea character, and all the kids come and everybody knows the Medea character of the street, the block, and kind of watches over the kids. It's really nice. It just makes it safer because everybody knows each other. Oh, that's so and so's kid, come on over if your parents aren't home, and stuff. And I understand like there's psychos out there and blah blah blah, but that's why you need to report this kind of stuff if there is psychos, so that we can get back to the good old days when you actually felt safe out and about. I don't know, that's just me. Anything else? Okay, that's it for this.
Now it's time for the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "May kindness lead your days, hope guide your heart, and goodness find you wherever you go." Now it's story time.
Okay, what's our next story?
I, 29 male, have been doubting my 5.5-year relationship with my girlfriend, 25 female.
29 and 25, okay.
Hello everyone. I, 29 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 25 female, for about 5.5 years. On paper, everything's amazing. We laugh a lot, never fight. We live together really well. Intimacy's good and our lives fit together almost perfectly. I love her a lot. My life is truly better because of her presence. The problem is that for the past year, I've been feeling constant doubt. I miss a certain spark of sense of distraction. For example, when we talk about booking vacations or making future plans, I sometimes feel resistance rather than excitement. It's confusing because I know how good we are together, yet I cannot shake this feeling. We've already tried a lot. I've seen a psychologist to see if it's something personal. We've done relationship coaching and even took a 2-month timeout, living separately under the guidance of the coach. We communicate well about it, and we both don't want to throw away something that works, but the doubt just doesn't go away. One thing to note is that I've never been in another long-term relationship before, and I'm kind of scared of the same thing would happen with anyone else in the future. Another factor is we own a house together. Breaking up would mean selling or moving out, which is a huge financial and practical hurdle. That makes the decision feel even more final, even though I know it shouldn't be a factor. Part of me thinks this is just what long-term relationships are. The in-love feeling fades, but another part of me thinks if I haven't felt yes, this is it for almost a year, then maybe that's telling me something important. I'm torn between staying and risking that will always linger, or ending it and risking regret because I've given up something amazing. Has anyone been in a similar situation? How did you decide whether the absence of spark was something you could live with or a sign to move on?
Okay, let me know if I'm missing anything on this, but number one, as Judge Judy always says, do not buy property jointly unless you are married, because it can get very messy, very sticky. You are very lucky you were able to get the house, because I can tell you from personal experience, it is a very lengthy, difficult process. And I don't know, but I wouldn't let the house thing be a determining factor, because if needed, there's some squirrels running around, that's why he's looking everywhere. But you know, I wouldn't let the house thing be a determining factor. Worst case scenario, you guys break up, you guys can sell the house, split the profit, whatnot. But yeah, I think that's a separate issue. But as far as the spark going away, I think it would be helpful for you to read that book, The 5 Languages of Love. It was a New York Times bestseller, and it explains that in relationships, I guess in general, people have this idea that, oh, the honeymoon phase is supposed to last forever. They call it the spark, this and that. But in the book, they explain that it's normal to have that honeymoon and the spark thing goes away. Once that passes, that's when you enter into the real relationship. The problems, the hurdles, this and that. There's no such thing as honeymoon forever. And as you go through relationships, you go through struggles, you go through issues, you go through problems. And the beauty of it is you support each other through those hurdles. And that's what makes it stronger, and that's what makes a lifelong bond. I mean, if you guys get into something, a life problem, and you guys don't stay together, then that just means it's not worth sticking around with. And if you guys don't have problems, what's the problem? Like, I don't understand. It just seems like you're doubting because is it only the honeymoon thing? If that's the case, I'm telling you, like, you shouldn't be thinking like that. If there's some like want or need or desire to do something, do it together or do it with your friends. But if there's no issue, then I wouldn't worry about it. And the whole living apart thing, I'm really surprised they told you to do that. But I mean, I don't know if you thought it was helpful or not, but if you guys don't move back together and stay together or think about living apart, then maybe it's time to call it quits. If you regret it.
It's 2 months only.
2 months? Yeah, 2 months, but still, I mean, if they don't enjoy the time back together, then just break up. And I wouldn't think of it as a regret. I would think of it as a learning experience. So then you know in the future, since you said this is your first serious relationship, in the future, then you'll know, like, hey, the spark thing honeymoon, I put it together because it's the same thing, fades, and you know that's normal. Now let's get into the real relationship, you know? And as I mentioned in the Thanksgiving episodes, that it's important that if you're feeling the doubts, put some fun stuff out there, put some extra love in there to like get the thing going again, the good vibes and all that kind of stuff. Instead of just dwelling on the negative, throw some positive energy in there. I think that'll help turn things around. But good luck to you guys.
Well, also, you need to be very careful what coach you're getting advice from, because there's a lot of imposters out there, and you don't want to just take someone's advice to heart, because they may not even have credentials. Just do your homework.
Yeah. And watch the Solomon Show. Because I'll always have your best interests out there.
Yeah.
Now it's time for Say Cheese. This is going to be pictures of local gardens that feature an artist, which I'm sure you've heard of, who makes sculptures of trolls made out of wood. You're in for a real treat. Now it's story time.
Okay, what's our next story?
Husband is seriously considering taking a job 4.5 hours from home. My husband, 37 male, has been given an opportunity to work to travel out of state for a job that will be a 12 to 18 month duration. We have 2 children in elementary school. I, 33 female, am currently a stay-at-home mom, part-time online student, finishing an associate degree.
Okay, time out. You better not be complaining about the husband, because I respect a man or a woman that is trying to make money, to hustle, to, be good to the family and whatnot. Especially if you're not working, do not complain about him, because nowadays it's very hard to get a job. It's really hard to make money. AI is coming, everything is getting more expensive, so you should be grateful that he's doing that, because I can guarantee you, who wants to drive 4 hours each way to work? It's very tiring. Been there, done that, not fun. So this better not be complaining. I'm just saying.
I don't think anybody would drive 4 hours. They probably stayed somewhere.
I did it, remember? I worked overnight. I drove several hours. I want to say it was almost 4 hours. And I worked overnight after getting off my other job, working that job, and coming back. It's hard work. And I respect that. So this girl better not be complaining. Especially you're staying at home. Oh my. Okay.
Money is tight. We barely make ends meet, but still manage to live a decent life. Kids are happy, want almost nothing, but behind the scenes we sacrifice many things. Extended family has a lot to do with helping provide our children with some of the luxuries they get to experience. Up until today, I've been planning to get back to work on a part-time basis while the kids are at school. My husband has been at this job for over 5 years. He loved it at first when he was on site working, but has been mostly in an office setting for the past few years. It's been great for his work-life balance, but detrimental to his outlook regarding the future. He has very recently been presented with an opportunity to get back into the field. He immediately texted me to call him and drop the bomb. There is an out-of-state gig that his boss wants him for. It's exactly what he wants to do at work. It comes with financial benefits that would really help us. The caveat is the details aren't exactly clear yet, but sound very promising. I immediately told him I would never say no to the opportunity if it is what he wants, because I could tell that he's excited about the prospect.
Good, okay, good support.
He is a vital part of our family dynamic. Bedtime, bath time, weekend mornings. He does a lot for the kid. Wait, but she doesn't work and he does a lot for the kid?
Exactly. This girl has some nerve. I'm glad you caught that. I wasn't going to say it, but okay.
He's the fun one. The kids love him so much, and I truly appreciate him for taking the lead when I left my career to stay at home with their kids. Caveat, I'm the former breadwinner and workaholic. Our marriage is good. We occasionally have explosive fights, but he has always been steady with me in our relationship. Been together for 15 plus years. Intimacy's pretty solid. I'm not necessarily worried about him straying from me despite my insecure tendencies. Our current understanding is that he will be home for most weekends. It's an hour flight or a 4.5 hour drive, and will maintain daily communication with kids and me. This is something I worry about. He's pretty simple in his social needs. His love language is physical touch, which he won't be getting much of me with the super limited amount of time that we have to spend as a family. I don't think he will necessarily stray from our marriage or family, but I do see him finding a new groove and being on his own. I guess what my advice that I'm asking for is, am I crazy to let him sacrifice the family dynamic for money? Does anyone have any similar experience and can tell me how to make this work? And how do you maintain an intimate relationship when you're spending so much time apart?
Okay, time out. No, there's way too many questions. Hold on. First of all, you need to elaborate more on you allegedly being the breadwinner, because I highly, highly doubt that. Because if you were the breadwinner before, this would not be an issue now, because you would understand, because now the situation is flipped. So I have to see it to believe it about the breadwinner thing. But my bet is that's some BS. You need money to survive. How are your kids going to eat? How are your kids going to do anything? Right? So why are you even complaining? And I'm worried about the intimacy. Da, da, da. All I hear from you is me, 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 me. He's working. He's taking care of the kids. What are you doing all day? You're going to school. Da, 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 da. I don't think so. Like, I've done online school too. The great thing about it is you can do it at your own pace. Like, I did a 1-year program. I finished it in a month. Why? Because I'm like, I need to hustle and get this done. Like, I'm all about being a boss bee. So I'm not getting that vibe from you. And the intimacy thing should be the last thing on your mind. What you should be worried about is getting a job or finishing that school so you can get a job. But all I hear is me, me, me. And you were saying, like, what did she say? Does this work? Or how do I get it to work? Finish doing what you need to do so he doesn't need to hustle as hard to get a job 4 hours away. I guarantee you, if you were working too, he wouldn't have to go on this little venture or whatever, try to pick up the slack. Like I said, me, me, me. And what else did she say after that?
You addressed all three.
I addressed all three, that's it? Anything you want to add?
There's more. There is so much more I have to say and explain, but I think any advice is good starting point, as this is wildly new option to wrap my head around.
Okay, first of all, why is this so wild? You, in a relationship, you're supposed to want your partner to be happy because you care about them, right? If you care about them, you want them to be happy. If he's pursuing his dream or whatnot, the way I see it is, okay, you're making a sacrifice for something in the long term because maybe he gets his foot in somewhere and then transfer back, transfer closer, is opening doors so he doesn't have to work as hard, as much, and da-da-da-da. What else?
There's an update.
Okay, what's the update?
My initial thoughts were right.
Guess what? I have a surprise for you. We've got a bonus quote of the day. Today's bonus quote of the day is, kindness costs nothing, but it can mean everything to someone today. Now it's story time.
Okay, guys, apparently there's an update to the story. What's the update?
My initial thoughts were right. Husband is excited about the opportunity, and if the financial part makes sense, he thinks he should take it. The loss of time with kids and me is heavy on his mind, but he views this as a potential major help to our future. He will be addressing the potential compensation and money changes next week with
Time out. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Got you. You got busted. He is saying that he feels bad because he doesn't get to spend time with the kids. That's the nice way of him, and he may not even realize it in his mind yet, but he's feeling guilty because he knows, shoot, my kids are going to be neglected. Why? Because I've been working and taking care of them, and now he's worried, are my kids going to be taken care of because my wife isn't doing it, right? Because, for example, right, if I'm going to take up an extra shift or extra job, this and that, da-da-da-da-da, I'm not going to be worried about my kids and stuff, because my little fur babies, because I know Gabriel will take care of them. So that's not a worry for me at all, right? If Gabriel wasn't taking care of the children, then I would feel really nervous, anxious, like, oh my God, do I need to call somebody? Do I need to do I need to get like a doggy daycare or whatnot? But because I know they will be in good hands, it's not a factor. So the fact that he's worried means you're not doing your part.
Now it's time for Say Cheese. We got some more trolls for you. And this time you can kind of get more of a perspective of just how huge these things are. Not only are they huge, but they're incredibly detailed. Now it's story time.
Okay, so what else?
He's addressing the potential compensation and money changes next week with his boss. What we know is on the table: per diem, gas mileage, likely only from the new housing to the work site, and permanently hourly pay increase, overtime, potential, and reduced hours Thursday to get back home to the office, 25 minutes from the current home on Fridays. The whole thing doesn't make sense, but I think they're letting him off earlier so that he can get to the other office. Hoping for some kind of stipend or setup for moving if he takes the job.
More pay, less work hours. Like, hello, work-life balance. That sounds great.
Number crunching and budgeting to come after the offer is completely laid out. Husband said he wants to be home every weekend and flights are under $300 round trip, but we would almost be planning it for him to drive home, or we meet up somewhere in the middle. Air travel is a special occasion or emergency option that we will consider. We agree that it is not going to be setting us up long term and that the job is not worth it. Oh, if it's not going to be setting us up long term, the job is not worth it. A lot of people have brought up moving with him. This is something I immediately considered when he told me about this. The job definitely has an end date, but the future is another thing we need to figure out. Other opportunities in the field may mean more time away from home.
Hold on, time out. This is really bothering me. This girl, why are you giving all these dumb conditions and like putting him on a guilt trip for taking this? Why don't you step up and stop stressing him out? Like, this is ridiculous. He's starting a new job. It's a lot of stress. Why are you, like, making him worry? You're supposed to be supporting him. What in the world?
He thinks he will get a project manager position from this and take the smaller local jobs once this wraps up. Again, this is something to be discussed. I'm not opposed to moving with him and we would definitely spend the summer with him and make the trip to him when school breaks allow, but we need to figure out if an apartment away from home and all the bills that come with it is even feasible for him to maintain. Renting our house is not an option. I would look into if the next conversation leads to actual planning the changes. Uprooting our lives could be an adventure, but selling the home is financially irresponsible. Our low interest rate on the mortgage has a lot to do with my reasoning. If I were to rent or buy, our cost would go up drastically. Seems safer, at least for now, to keep our home and keep the kids here until we have a better idea of what life should.
Time out. This is easy. Like you said, you can either rent the house and get an apartment over there. That would make sense because you're getting income to support the apartment thing. But it doesn't make sense for him to get an apartment that is very expensive. Yes, that part I agree. But you could rent a room in somebody's house. You don't need to get a full-on apartment. You know what I mean? Especially if we're going to be there a few days a week, just rent a room. A lot of people do that. It's significantly cheaper. I don't know. That's my thing. Or, like you said, sell the house. But if it's a low mortgage, I would just keep it as a good investment. Just rent a room. Or if the kids and her are going to move there, get the apartment and rent the house. I think that's a better bet. But Let's see what else.
If you think of me getting up and getting a job, yes, this is something we've been planning. When I said up until today, I just meant that the plan was of the next steps in my mind until this new opportunity took priority. Not that it's off the table. I want to go back to work. We've looked at entry-level positions and calculated my earnings, what they would be. If I would be making...
Womp, womp, womp. BS, you were the breadwinner. What do you mean entry-level stuff? You say you were the breadwinner, so what's going on here?
If I would be making anywhere close to what he would be contributing, then I wouldn't want him to take the job, and he agrees. Kids have been in school for 2 months. Now I have 6.5 hours of time, Monday through Friday. That's when I plan to work. I have 2 semesters left in school. School's free for me thanks to scholarships and grants. We don't have reliable childcare aside from maybe a weekend overnight at the grandparents' house every couple months. Me working to pay for childcare seems redundant and something we agree we want to avoid if possible. If the benefits of this new job allow him to live, rent, utility, and food free, and still send a chunk of money home for savings, then it is something we see as a realistic option. We may realize in the next week that this is something that won't put us ahead enough to be worth it, especially regarding time lost with the kids for him. But my primary reason for posting...
This girl is on my last nerve. All I hear, you keep saying we. It's not we, it's a me. Quit lying. Flip the W back to the M. It's me. It's not we. Come on.
My reason for posting this was to gain insight on if it is something we should even consider. My main takeaway so far is that I had already considered money, career, future, losing quality time, relationship changing, etc. Oh, also, for those who argue explosive fight was meant to insinuate that we shout sometimes. Is it ideal? No. Is it realistic for us? Yes. Is it something we've been working on? Mostly. The heat of the moment is sometimes a little messy, and we have regrets on how we handle major disagreements, but we circle back and try to make healthy changes to prevent reoccurrence.
I'd be pissed off too if I'm doing the work, raising the kids, all this and that, and you're over there making me feel guilty and blah, blah, blah. I only have one question for you, girl. Can you guess what my question is? Do you like to eat poo-poo? That's my question for you. When's the last time you had some poo-poo? I think I need to give you the sniff test because something seems a little fishy, seems a little stinky. Now it's all coming together.
Now it's time for Solomon's Words of Wisdom.
Hi guys, so another thing I want to add in this theme of like all this crazy family drama and dating and whatnot. So sometimes in life people will show you their true colors, and when they do, you need to take that to heart and you need to stop making excuses for them, whether it be verbally, like talking to other people, or within your own mind. And unfortunately, sometimes people change, and sometimes you lose friends or family members or people from your garden, and that's fine because it's important to pluck the weeds from your life. I will tell you that I had a friend. We were friends for a very long time, and many years, and you know, through time she kind of changed, and I noticed that. And she actually brought along, I call it my replacement. She brought along my replacement, and the replacement also brought her daughter with her, teenage girl. So they come over to my place, and the replacement's daughter comes in. She looks around my place and she goes, I guess she didn't know it was my place. Not that it matters, not that is any excuse. But she made the comment, oh wow, who lives here? This place is so junky. Let me repeat it again in case you didn't hear me. She goes around my home and she goes, who lives here? This place is so junky. Okay? Keep in mind that my replacement is going through a nasty divorce. Okay? She doesn't have a home of her own. It was the soon-to-be ex-husband's. Well, the way I see it is, this teenage girl is so spoiled, so bratty. Who comes into somebody's home and says something like that? Right? My thing is, the way I view it in life is, a person's home, you never say anything bad about it. Ever. Why? Because a person's home is their safe haven, their place in the world, right? To say something about it is to judge them, and it is not nice, it's not right, and it's not kind to judge people. A person's home is the best that they can do. Obviously, if they wanted a better home, they would get a better home, right? Duh, it's a no-brainer. If I see somebody's home that isn't as nice or great or this or that, the way my brain works is, I think, like, immediately I'm like, you know what, thank you God for blessing me, like, I'm blessed. That's the way I think. I don't look down at people. I don't know, I just think it's so wrong, so cruel to look down at people. Don't do that. Like, help people, offer people things, whatever, like, build each other up. Don't tear people down. And to me, for this girl at such a young age to say something so nasty, I'm like, I just looked at Gabriel. He was washing the dishes, and I looked at him. I said, you heard that, right? He goes, yeah. And I said, it's okay, like, I'm fine. Because I guess Gabriel turned to me to see if I was okay, and I said, you know what, I am fine. Now they've shown their colors, we know who they are, that is fine. And that was kind of the decline of my friendship with that person. And yes, we have been friends for a very long time, but the fact that you're surrounding yourself with people like this, the fact that you're and she laughed too, this former friend of mine. The fact that you would laugh and not put them in check or this or that, to me, loyalty is everything. And if you're not loyal to me, then what is the point of us being around each other? It's pointless. So yeah, I guess my point of all this is, well, yeah, don't look down on people, be nice, uplift each other, but don't be saying bad things about people's homes, and don't be snobby. It's not cute. You know what I mean? Be humble, be good. And sometimes you lose friends, and that's okay. Just tend to your garden. You'll meet new people. Put them in there. They treat you good, then great. Be friends and have a nice life together. But always be kind to one another. Take care, you guys.
That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to always be kind to one another. Take care.